The NBA world is buzzing with rumors that sound almost too wild to be true. The Golden State Warriors, one of the most dominant dynasties in recent memory, are reportedly in deep discussions to make a franchise-altering trade. At the center of the storm are two players on completely different ends of the basketball spectrum: Jonathan Kuminga, the Warriors' rising star brimming with untapped potential, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Milwaukee Bucks' two-time MVP and generational talent who has redefined the role of a forward in today's NBA. If the whispers emerging from league insiders are accurate, Golden State may be preparing to offer a monumental trade package centered around Kuminga to pry Giannis away from Milwaukee. The deal, should it go through, would instantly become one of the most shocking moves in NBA history, surpassing even the blockbuster trades of the past decade. But how realistic is this scenario? And why would either franchise consider such a massive gamble? Let's break it down, step by step, why the Warriors would even dare to attempt the impossible. The Golden State Warriors are not strangers to swinging for the fences. This is the franchise that reinvented basketball with Stephen Curry's three-point revolution, that welcomed Kevin Durant to build perhaps the most unstoppable offensive force in modern NBA history, and that has never shied away from big, bold moves. Yet as Curry approaches the twilight of his career, questions about how the Warriors can remain contenders have only grown louder. The 2022 championship bought them time, but the seasons that followed exposed cracks. Klay Thompson is no longer the defensive stopper and sharpshooter he once was. Draymond Green, while still a fiery leader, has struggled with consistency and discipline. And while Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul have provided occasional sparks, they are not enough to guarantee another dynasty run. That is where Jonathan Kuminga enters the picture. Drafted 7th overall in 2021, Kuminga has flashed glimpses of brilliance with his athleticism, scoring ability, and defensive upside. But the Warriors have struggled to fully unlock his potential in a system that prioritizes ball movement, spacing, and experience. Rumors have swirled that Kuminga himself has grown frustrated with his role in minutes, fueling speculation that his future might not be in San Francisco, if Golden State truly wants to maximize Curry's remaining prime years. The franchise may feel that trading potential for certainty is the only path forward, and certainty in this case has a name: Giannis Antetokounmpo. Why Giannis could be available? At first glance, the idea of Milwaukee trading Giannis sounds absurd. The Greek Freak is not just the face of the franchise, he is arguably the face of the NBA, with 2 MVP awards, a Defensive Player of the Year, and an NBA championship under his belt. Giannis has already solidified himself as one of the greatest players of his generation. But cracks in the Bucks' empire have begun to show. After their 2021 championship, the Bucks have fallen short in the playoffs multiple times, including a shocking first-round exit to the Miami Heat in 2023. Even the acquisition of Damian Lillard in 2023 has not delivered the guaranteed dominance Milwaukee hoped for. Injuries, chemistry issues, and the natural grind of an aging roster have left the Bucks vulnerable. Giannis himself has been vocal about his desire to compete for championships, no matter where that journey takes him. He has repeatedly stated that if Milwaukee cannot remain at the highest level, he will not hesitate to explore other opportunities. For the Bucks front office, the looming fear of losing Giannis for nothing in free agency could push them toward entertaining trade offers that seem unimaginable under normal circumstances. And when a team like the Warriors, loaded with assets, pedigree, and a culture of winning, comes calling, Milwaukee may at least have to listen. The rumored package. High stakes on both sides reports suggest that Golden State's preliminary offer would revolve around Jonathan Kuminga as the centerpiece. But Kuminga alone would not be enough to land a player of Giannis' caliber. Sources indicate the Warriors would need to attach multiple future first-round picks, pick swaps, and possibly additional young players such as Moses Moody or Brandon Podziemski. Veteran contracts like Andrew Wiggins or Kevin Looney could also be included to make the salaries work under the NBA's new collective bargaining rules. From Milwaukee's perspective, such a package would give them both a promising young star in Kuminga and the draft capital to rebuild quickly if they decide to reset their franchise timeline. For Golden State, it would mean cashing in nearly every remaining asset to form a new super duo of Stephen Curry and Giannis Antetokounmpo, arguably the most devastating inside-outside pairing in league history. What the deal would mean for the Warriors: should the Warriors pull the trigger, they would instantly transform themselves from fringe contenders to title favorites. Imagine Curry spacing the floor with his limitless shooting, while Giannis bulldozes through defenses with his unparalleled athleticism and strength. Draymond Green would thrive as a defensive anchor with less offensive responsibility, while role players like Gary Payton II and Dario Ari could provide depth. The combination of Giannis' prime and Curry's shooting genius would be unlike anything the NBA has ever seen. Even in his mid-30s, Curry remains one of the most feared offensive players in the game, and Giannis' ability to dominate both ends of the floor could extend Golden State's championship window for several more years. The price would be steep. The Warriors' future draft cupboard would be nearly empty, and the departure of Kuminga could haunt them if he develops into a superstar elsewhere. but Golden State has never been a team to play it safe. This would be the ultimate all-in gamble. What the deal would mean for the Bucks for Milwaukee, trading away Giannis would mark the end of an era. The fan base would be devastated, and the franchise would be accused of giving up on its generational star. Yet, if Giannis is truly restless and unwilling to commit long-term, the Bucks could be forced to act sooner rather than later. Jonathan Kuminga would immediately become the new face of the franchise, a high-flying forward with untapped superstar potential, surrounded by Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez, assuming they are not also moved. Kuminga could develop in a lower-pressure environment while the Bucks slowly retool for the future. The draft picks from Golden State would provide long-term insurance, giving Milwaukee flexibility to rebuild or retool as needed. The NBA landscape would change forever if this trade were to happen. It would send shockwaves through the NBA unlike anything since Kevin Durant joined Golden State in 2016. Rival contenders like the Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, and Los Angeles Lakers would be forced to reassess their strategies, knowing that a Curry-Giannis duo could dominate the league for years to come. Television ratings, merchandise sales, and global interest in the NBA would skyrocket. The Warriors, already one of the most marketable teams in the world, would once again become the league's marquee attraction. For the NBA itself, the trade would be a dream scenario: drama, controversy, and star power all rolled into one. The risks on both sides, of course. Such a monumental trade would come with enormous risks. For Golden State, the danger lies in mortgaging their future for a win-now move. If injuries strike or chemistry falters, the Warriors could find themselves in a financial and competitive hole for years to come. For Milwaukee, the risk is even more emotional. Trading away Giannis would alienate fans and potentially doom the franchise to irrelevance if Kuminga and the draft assets fail to pan out. Losing a generational superstar is not something a small market team recovers from easily. So, is it real or just smoke? As of now, nothing is official. Insiders caution that talks are preliminary and both teams are weighing their options carefully. However, the fact that such conversations are even being whispered in NBA circles is enough to ignite a firestorm of speculation. For the Warriors, the clock is ticking on Curry's legendary career. For the Bucks, the clock is ticking on Johnny's loyalty. That intersection of pressure, ambition, and uncertainty makes this blockbuster scenario one of the most fascinating storylines the league has seen in years. Final word: whether or not the trade ever materializes, the idea alone speaks volumes about where the NBA is headed. Superstars hold the keys to the league, and franchises are increasingly willing to take massive risks to chase banners and legacies. If Golden State actually pulls off the unthinkable and brings Giannis to San Francisco, the dynasty that many thought was over could rise again, bigger, bolder, and scarier than ever. And if Milwaukee decides to cut ties with their beloved star, it could trigger a new chapter in NBA history, redefining what loyalty, ambition, and power truly mean in the modern game. One thing is certain: the NBA world will never look the same if Jonathan Kuminga for Giannis Antetokounmpo becomes more than just a rumor.